each and every week. Man, college baseball, it's getting that time. A lot of great series in the Southeastern Conference. You look at the races in the Sun Belt and Conference USA. Now making that, to make that regional. And I ask you this morning, if you only go to, we talk about sporting events. If you could only go to one, or what would you enjoy seeing more live? Like, would it be those listening in Alabama, certainly going to Bryant-Denny Stadium or going to Jordan-Hare Stadium? Would you like to go to Neville Arena, Coleman Coliseum? Like, what sporting event do you enjoy live? And I thought about this all week, a little topic earlier on a show this week. And I went through, because you think about all the things. We've got the most intelligent audience in all of sports radio. And you've probably been to a lot of venues. Some of you may have gone to a Super Bowl, a bowl game, college football playoff game, a regional, a super regional, Omaha, the Final Four, the opening round of the NCAA tournament. So really, it's one of those complex questions, like watching on TV. There are sports that you probably enjoy watching more on TV than going to live, in a live venue. If you only had one, you could only visit one, what would you go to? Would you go to an SEC football stadium and watch a game? Would it be a super regional? And the second part, which, what do you enjoy watching more on TV as opposed to going to live? Love your opinion at 888-993-7762. That is the Origin Bank hotline and text line. Only one number that you have to remember is 888-993-7762. And with that, we'll go to the Origin Bank hotline and talk to Chuckopedia. Good morning, Chuck. How are you?
Good morning to you all. How are you doing on this? It's been a rainy day and on Mother's Day Eve. And things going sports winding down. Yeah, I think about what is happening. In Louisiana, we've had the softball state championships. We had some some area representation of. I know Sterlington, Oak Grove, and Quitman won championships. And also, while I have you on, and you're a great person to tell, go to SWAC TV. The SWAC softball championship is going on between Southern University of Baton Rouge and Florida A&M. It's the Battle of the Brittany's. Both coaches, we have Brittany Williams coaching Southern University, and Florida A&M, Brittany Beal, two former high school softball coaches, and they're playing for the SWAC championship. What happened? They were able to get the game going. What happened? They had to stop that game twice yesterday because of inclement weather down in Gulfport, Mississippi. And they finally got this. They finally got that. The first thing what happened, Southern, all FAMU had to do is win one game to win the championship. But what happened, Southern said we're gonna push the game until Saturday. They ended up beating. They beat FAMU 8-0. And that game today, they moved this game over because of the weather. They moved it over to 1 p.m. Central Time. And you just go on SWAC TV, go on your app, and you just watch it. It's been some great games and some great pitching as well. And also Charles Edmond. I had to give a shout out to him. Alcorn State University, long-time radio voice. He's a Grambling alumnus, tall guy, 7 feet tall, from St. Louis, Missouri. He's been calling all those SWAC softball tournament games. Shout out to him. He's got finished interviewing him on Jaguar Journal. But I want to give a shout out to Charles Edmond, which you all know quite well. You need to interview him. Tell him, hey, brother, how do you keep that stamina to call all those games? But my landing gear is going to be on what's been going on. I've been up here watching NHL, and I look at what is happening. I think the team that had a chance of winning that Stanley Cup is I think it's going to be the Carolina Hurricanes, coached by hockey great Rod Brindamore. I think it's who could win that Stanley Cup. That'll be my landing gear.
All right, man. Certainly appreciate that. Thanks for all the great information. Chuckopedia, you have a great Mother's Day weekend. Appreciate you always listening and calling in to the Nick Brown Show.
All right, you all take care and stay dry out here and watch yourself out in this weather because we're in for this weather. That'll be my landing gear.
All right, appreciate it, Chuck. You can call just like Chuck did on the Origin Bank hotline at 888-993-7762. or you can text 888-993-7762. Now, I want to talk to you just a minute. No, normally, we don't go back and rehash the subject that we had last week. But I'm going to do that today because I posted the question last week about a baseball players leaving their team to go to prom. And it was interesting because nearly 100% of you were all about going to play for your team. But I had an interesting comment, and I want to share it this morning. And I'm not going to, well, I guess I will say who it's from, but it's interesting because like Doug chimed in, no way, teammate first, you invest all that effort and don't throw it away for a party. Kenneth Fuller, easy choice for me, game over prom. Lacey Powell, never. So they go on and on about how many people would go to their game over the prom. Chris chimes in, chances are you don't marry your prom date anyway, and if you do, she's always got a wedding to look forward to in the future. Dana, I would miss prom. But I get to an interesting one from Dallas. It tells me that these young men valued a relationship more than a sport, that a person was more important than a piece of plastic or a plaque. The girls they were taking to prom had been planning for weeks, if not months, for that night. It shows that they are not focused on themselves. Good for them. Now, here's where obviously, I'm going to, when I read that, in again, all opinions is the most intelligent audience in all of sports radio. But having been a prom duty guy for the last, give or take, 2 decades, I think that the prom that you went to in the 70s and 80s, where you took your steady girlfriend, like a lot of these guys that are going to prom and girls don't have a date 2 weeks out. And it's not a serious romance. It's more of a, I don't have anybody to go with. You don't have anybody to go with. Let's go together. Or we're friends. And also what you have now is more people. There is no value for purchasing a prom ticket as a couple, like 2 singles, 25 each. A couple is 50. There's no bargaining chip to buy that. And I go through is like very few are boyfriend and girlfriend going to prom. And I'm going to take it a step further. In the last 2 decades, kids show up for prom and then leave 30 minutes later. And so, and that taking away doubts what you say, but great opinion, and that's what we have here. But I think that prom is more, it's just more like a regular break dance on a Friday night after a football game. Not homecoming. It's just you come in, listen to a few songs, and leave. But certainly appreciate all of those opinions on the Nick Brown Show. I'll jump into college hoops today because the NCAA has expanded the men and women's tournament. March Madness is expanding to 76 teams for men and women. Now, Lynn Scarborough is not going to join us today. He is behind, possibly pushing back the publication date by just a few days on Lindy's. And Lynn battled his health issues, still putting out a quality product. So it's nothing health related. Talked to him last night and said, hey, I totally understand. You get the magazine out because I'd like to have it in my hands when I go to Pensacola Beach. No doubt, not a 30A guy, not knocking those of you who are, but just Pensacola. Go down Fort Pickens Road, all is good with the world. But he would be against this. He would be adamantly opposed to expanding the tournament. Can you get too much of a good thing? There's always going to be a team. Now it's going to be who was the 77th team. But you go back, is it a bad thing? And I say it's not. Transparent. I think it's a great thing. The more the merrier. In fact, I think that, they say that the opening day of the NCAA tournament is the least productive day in the workforce. Thought about having a show like what sporting event would you want the next day to be a holiday? Obviously, the day after the Super Bowl. But with that, we bring in the Preacher Man. He has two jobs: to read your text and bring in the Pillowy Fluff Delicious Daylight Donuts, which he has, expanding the NCAA tournament. Your thoughts on it?
On the men's side, I don't see a big deal with it. The exciting games are those first round games because that, the last couple of years, that's where more of the upsets has happened in those, till you get to about the Sweet 16, and then it kind of gets into seems like the favorites. There doesn't seem to be as many upsets, the last couple of years there. But those first few rounds, man, that's where the excitement happens. So I think it adds to it. So I think it'll be good. I don't know about the women's side. There are still some massive blowouts early, and I think we could right now name 6 to 7 teams, and we would probably get the Final Four right on the women's side right now.
I want to tackle what you said one at a time. Let's talk about upset. What makes a game an upset? What truly makes a game an upset? Would it be the seedings? Like, you look at a 9 over an 8 is not that big of an upset,
no.
but by the definitions, that is an upset, correct?
Correct.
Could it be that in the past, they seeded the tournament for the 12-5 upset? Like, that 12 seed might have been more like an 8-9 or even a 6. You see where the upsets, the patterns happen, but could it be that they're actually doing a better job of seeding the teams?
It could be. Again, I think what we're going to see, just like what you saw in the transfer portal this year, if you're a freshman or sophomore at one of these small teams, you're getting plucked off by one of the big teams. And what allowed some of those younger teams, those smaller schools, to do well in the tournament is they were older. They would have a team full of juniors and seniors that had been together, and they could upset that Power 4, Power 5 team. And now they're forced to get younger as well, or they get older they got to go find some older diamonds in the rough that they bring up to replace those kids that they get taken by.
I do have good news. Dayton is not going to lose its host site, nor should it. But with the increase to 76 teams, the first 4, those doubleheaders that we had on back-to-back days, that's going to be replaced, and a 12-game opening round. 12 games, 24 teams in 2 different cities. There'll be 3 games each day. So there's have
they given the other side?
They have not, but I'm pretty sure it's going to be Las Vegas. West of the Eastern time zone to help with logistics. Now, so I think that's going to be 3 games each day.
I've always wondered, though, if those games, if it's a play-in game, that means you were on the bubble. It's almost like, shouldn't those games all be like 14, 15, 16? Why are we playing in for an 11 seed?
Because I will tell you why. Because you look at what it ended up happening. You basically took teams from the MAC, the MEAC, the SWAC, and you automatically penciled them in as a 15 and 16 seed, and that's what you had. You had 2 of them fighting for that last position, and so you really technically weren't in the tournament. So I think now you look at those teams, it's really to give the true 15, 16 teams in the tournament a chance. Like, I know when you look through and you say, okay, well, really, the SEC team would do better here and there in both of those teams. I know what you're thinking. You watch your playing games and you're like me and you say, hey, both of these teams, if they were not playing each other, would win a game in the tournament. It's usually a thought with an 11 seed, 11 or 12 even. So,
yeah, because, let's say you did a 16 seed this year. If Auburn was the first team out, and so they're playing for a 16, they're in a play-in game for the 16 seed. Then whoever the number 1 seed is, you got Auburn potentially first round. So that'd be a tough, I don't know hey, yay, we're rewarding you with Auburn in the first round. But I've always just kind of thought that, like, if you're the next 12 out, then you should have been in line for a 14, 15, or 16
half of
seed.
your 24 opening round teams will be the lowest seeded automatic qualifiers. So there you go. So that would get you the lower conferences, whether it's a MEAC, SWAC, whatever it may be, the MAC, then the others will be the lowest seeded at-large teams. We're going to take a break. It's time for Pillowy Fluff Delicious Daylight Donut. You're listening to The Nick Brown Show on the Nick Brown Show Network. We'll be right back.
hard work and summer fun already put your back and neck in a bind? Bending, lifting, twisting puts additional tension and pressure on your back and neck. Once your muscles and nerves become inflamed, you start to feel the pain and stiffness, and no matter how many over-the-counter medications you take, it just won't go away. Well, it's time to call Dr. Bob Rendina at Chiro Network in Ruston. Chiropractic treatments work to get your back and neck working properly again. Play it smart. Stretch before and after. And when you need a chiropractor, call Dr. Bob Rendina at Chiro Network in Ruston.
This is Brandon Kraft, General Manager at Homes Plus. This tax season, we have got with our factories to offer our customers guaranteed build times. So don't just spend your tax return, invest it into the next place you will call home. And everyone be on the lookout for the all-new tiny home coming soon. Get the plus, Homes Plus. So come see us on Highway 165 North in Monroe or visit us at homesplus.com.
Provision Security. Preserving your past, protecting your future. Cameras, doorbell cameras, systems you can control all from your smartphone. Security systems with low monthly monitoring starting at $14.99. Provision Security is more than security. Sound systems, hanging your flat screen TV, speakers in your ceiling, even Wi-Fi systems. Provision Security, 314 East Georgia in Ruston. Call Michael at 773-3703. Check him out on Facebook. Provision Security.
Don't let concerns about current events derail your long-term financial strategy. Hi, I'm Edward Jones, financial advisor Jeremy Hebert, and I'm here to help. We can work together to understand today's financial landscape and make sure you achieve your goals. While you can't control market volatility, you can control your financial future. Let's connect. Start by giving me a call at 318-251-9200.
Member SIPC.
When Brownie buys bourbon, it's at the Keg Package. Operating since 1972, the Keg Package has been serving the Ruston and Grambling community for over 50 years. The Hightowers purchased the Keg in 2005 and built a new prime location in 2013 on the Tarbutton exit. They offer a wide variety of hard-to-find beer, wine, and liquor. They also have over 20 flavors of delicious frozen drinks. You can purchase Best Stop Boudin and sausage along with Louisiana Tech steaks. Come experience Divine Wine and the Keg Package.
Okay, so clearly the word is out about Country Pleasin' sausage. Thank you for helping make Country Pleasin' your go-to sausage on game day. From original to jalapeno and cheese, black pepper cheddar, even crawfish and pork, we can't get enough at Sports Talk 97.7, and it seems like you can't either. Check for Country Pleasin' at your local retailer, and for additional flavors, check them out at countrypleasin.com. That's countrypleasin.com.
Saturday morning, sports, and the Nick Brown Show. You can't beat it.
Welcome back to the Nick Brown Show, the Nick Brown Show Network. You watch the Nick Brown Show every week, streaming on Facebook as well as YouTube. We appreciate you subscribing to the Nick Brown Show YouTube channel. You can see what this cast of characters look like. We're going to go with that to the Origin Bank text line. And what do we have, Preacher Man?
Larry's bringing in a painful one for us. He says, Larry in Monroe, one I would love to see live in person is my high school, the Ouachita Lions, won a state championship because he didn't get to go this past year when they beat Ruston. That was a painful one.
The views of Larry. Larry, good one. Larry, I tell you what, it was a great year. Enjoyed watching the job that Benji did with Ouachita. And I know that those listening on Smash Hits 94.5 probably have no idea who we're talking about, but Ouachita Parish High School, I thought that was good to see that program do that. And I'll tell you why, just for a second. If you look like Leroy, those listed, you'll understand. Leroy High School, you've got a community, so Leroy rallies around it. You go to Jackson High School, Jackson High School, Jackson Academy. You have a community around the team. Same thing in Grove Hill, Thomasville, wherever you may be. Ouachita Parish is just kind of out like in the nowhere. And you have like Monroe has Neville, West Monroe has West Monroe, but it's like, here they are. I actually went to one of their feeder schools to a game one time, and it was so far out. I really thought that we were lost because the Browns do that. We get lost when we travel to games. But congratulations, Larry. I hope you get your wish. Maybe it'll be a rematch in the Dome, and you'll see a loss this time. So, Larry, in fact, you may be the reason they won. You got to understand. So, So really, you got to think about that, Larry. I believe in. All right, just for a second. When I'm at a game and I'm standing somewhere and the team is doing good, I stay in that spot until they start doing bad. Now, and if somebody comes up and say the team's doing really well and cheerman walks up, do we ever decide if it's cheerman or cheer guy? Cheerman better? If cheerman walks up and then the team starts doing bad, he has to leave. I kid you not. I was watching a game at Hines with the associate athletic director, Kelly Murphy, great guy to watch a game with. And this guy walks up. This is the associate AD. He looks at this guy and he says, you need to leave. He goes, what? He goes, you need to leave. We were doing really good until you walked up. So you go watch the game anywhere but right here. And you know what? He was dead serious. So, Larry, you may want to think about that should the Lions make it back to the Dome.
Yeah, because if you're sitting in a chair and your team's, you can't move chairs, and if you're not paying well, then you do adjust seats and things like that. You know, you can't. You got your lucky shirts you got to put on, because obviously what you do in your living room translates to what happens, 500-800 miles away. But, we all have got our little patterns that we do when we watch games.
All right, so if you had an opportunity to, let's just go around the room and we'll get the cheer guy, his opinion. It's like watching one sporting event. If you're going to watch it on TV or go live, is there one you enjoy watching on television more? But if you can only attend one sporting event in a calendar year, what would it be? I mean, you think about all the sporting events you've gone to. We've gone to basketball, college baseball, women's college basketball, softball, high school football, college football. You only go to one event. I'm going to choose an NCAA regional in baseball. I would go to an NCAA regional in baseball because of the excitement when you go. Now, a couple of years ago, it was actually a really good regional at Plainsman Park. To the top. Won it. Brothers got in a fight. It was actually, the fight was actually quite humorous, but not to them now. Like, they don't, like, I'm the kind of look back and laugh about things. Like, they don't. So it was like a serious, but Southern Miss won that regional at Plainsman Park. But you had Auburn, Southern Miss, and there's always like that outlier team. Like, we're going to send like Canisius. Like, it'll be like Auburn, Southern Miss, Samford out of Birmingham. Oh, and we're going to throw in Canisius. Oh, Greg Goff, by the way, going to join us this morning at 9:05. Talk a little Purdue baseball. And I'm predicting that Purdue's going to make a regional.
Is that a shout out to billionaire Ted?
Yeah, you got that. 9:05 is going to join us. And Purdue's on a roll. They're climbing up in the RPI. And I told him this past week, I said, what I'd really like to happen is for you to get sent to the Auburn Regional. Now, they've got work to do. They play Indiana in a series. And I've been following a little Big Ten.
Big comeback last night for the Boilermakers.
Largest in Purdue history. Down 8-0. I'd like to know what he told him in that seventh inning. Or did he put in a lot of pinch hitters?
I don't know if he could say it on air.
We'll ask him. So they have work to do. I think you get to, let's see, they have 2 games with Indiana, 3 with Iowa. That's 5. Murray State, that's 6. If they win 4 of those.
It may take 5.
If they take 5 total out of those 7 and then win 2 in Omaha.
And then get 2 in the conference tournament.
Yes.
That should get them in.
I think it would get them in.
I think the Big Ten's elevated their standing as a conference too.
All right, Big John, because that's what he's going to say. All right, Big John, when you call. Big John, one sporting event you go to. Are you going to go to? Now, here's the deal. I know that you like LSU football. Tiger Stadium.
No, because it's all the other. One, I don't feel like walking 17 miles.
Well, if you came with me to All Hours, you would.
No, not that.
Is it because, like, to me, I don't enjoy paying $25 to park in a stranger's yard?
And that's reasonable.
Well, I'm probably.
That was 40 and 50.
Yeah, it's 40 and 50 now.
25 is probably reasonable these days. I'm catching an Uber.
Okay. So what would your sporting event be? Opening weekend of the NCAA tournament? I would like to go to Dayton.
I don't. That's tough.
The NFL game we went to in Cleveland and the snow was coming down.
It would probably still be Omaha. I know that's not a single game.
No, you're good. You're good.
It's an event, but
how about a wild card opening weekend in the NFL? It depends.
See, they messed up. It was 1 or 2 years that they ran Super Wild Card Weekend, and you got a triple header on Saturday and a triple header on Sunday, and they had to go and mess it up and put one of the games on Monday. I'm like, nah, man. Oh, a single game, frankly, probably a Liverpool match at Anfield.
Oh, that's what Soccer Son would want to see. What about you, Preacher Man? Soccer Son's going to Liverpool, so.
If I threw out my team.
No, you don't. You don't have to.
I'm throw out my team because I would always pick. I'd go, okay, I want to see him play Tennessee. I want to see him play Alabama or Florida. But
by the way, I still have the cigar that you gave me.
Well, get ready to light it this year.
All right, Smash is 94.5.
I think I want to go to I think I want to go see a game, not in the dead of winter, but maybe an October, November game in Buffalo. I want to see the Bills.
Because of the snow coming down.
I just want to go to Buffalo.
If I go to a game of Buffalo,
they're diehard fans.
I'm wanting to go in December when there's 17 feet of snow on it.
Correct.
Well, if that's the case, then I just want some Buffalo fan to tell me what to buy and what to put on.
Are you jumping through a table, Preacher Man?
Jumping through a table.
You have to.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess if that's part of it, I want to have the experience. If I go,
so you want to go to Buffalo?
Yeah, I'd like to see a game in Buffalo.
It very reminiscent when we went to Cleveland, which close. I mean, you go through and the snow was coming down on that.
Yeah,
team.
when we saw Army Navy,
they're both mistakes.
When we saw Army Navy and Philly, it snowed the whole game, and that was kind of cool.
That'd be cool.
That was fun.
We want your opinion at 888-993-7762. What sporting event are you going to?
Brain fart domestically, single game. It's Army Navy.
And in Philly, though, you got to see
the waffle.
Yeah. I'd settle with Baltimore, but I'd prefer Philly.
Yeah, Philly's great.
We'd like to know what game you would go to, what event at 888-993-7762. We're going to take a break. I'm going to refill that coffee cup. You do the same thing. You're listening to the Nick Brown Show, the Nick Brown Show Network. We'll be right back.
Here's the weather forecast on your Saturday. Mostly cloudy conditions with a stray shower or thunderstorm possible with a high of 82. As we move on into Saturday night, a few clouds in the area. There will be some areas of patchy fog with a low of 63. Sunday, which is Mother's Day, storms could be moving into our area. A mixture of clouds and sun with a slight chance of some of the loud stuff during the afternoon. Gusty winds and small hail is possible with a high of 82. And then for Sunday evening, scattered thunderstorms during the evening, then cloudy skies overnight with a low of 62.
Friends, this is Skip Russell, your #1 insurance agent in Ruston for the past 42 years. I want you to know that I would be proud to be your insurance agent. Come by and check out our new lower rates on automobile insurance. Call us at 255-5050 or come by our office at 105 Reynolds Drive in Ruston. That's behind Wendy's and Captain D's. Thank you.
I'm hashing over an ethical dilemma, so I think I could use some black coffee.
Of course, you can get black coffee and all your favorite coffee beverages at the Depot Coffee Shop. The Depot Coffee Shop is located at 211 West Railroad Avenue in downtown Ruston. The Depot Coffee Shop is coffee with a cause. The Depot Coffee Shop is open Monday through Thursday from 7 a.m. to 11 p.m. and on Friday from 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. and on Saturdays from 8 to 3. Call in your order at 232-7084 or visit the Depot Coffee Shop. Nick Brown for All Hours Fitness Ruston. In Ruston, life doesn't stop at 5 o'clock, neither should your goals. Welcome to All Hours Fitness Ruston, your 24/7 destination for strength, health, and a better you. We've just grown. Enjoy over 15,000 square feet of premium equipment, outdoor training, and live classes. With our exclusive ladies-only area, cryotherapy, red light therapy, massage bed, and tanning, we've taken away every excuse. Locally owned, built for life.
Join the family at All Hours Fitness Ruston today.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-9871. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS.
Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start.
Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems.
We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau.
You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-9871. That's 800-575-9871. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Thanks for tuning in to the Nick Brown Show. On the air, online, and free app.
Welcome back to the Nick Brown Show, the Nick Brown Show Network. Appreciate you waking up early. You're just now tuning in. You can watch the Nick Brown Show. Several different platforms. Facebook right now, the Nick Brown. Not going to the Nick Brown Show Facebook page or on YouTube. And we'd really like for you to subscribe to the Nick Brown Show YouTube channel. But I got an interesting from college baseball. Division II, Angelo State had 0 hits, but was able to find a way to win. Thank you, Steve, for sharing this with us. Defensive miscues. St. Mary's errors in the first inning, paired with some walks, allowed Angelo State to take a 2-0 lead, and then held hitless the rest of the game. Unbelievable. There's a no-hitter, and you lose. But St. Mary's Angelo State was able to defeat St. Mary's, by the way, who had 8 hits, 5 errors. Terrible way to lose. You have a text over there you're reading?
Yeah, this is interesting. FS says that, speaking on that, and this day in sports, 1901, Cleveland's Earl Moore no-hits the White Sox for 9 innings, but loses 4-2 in 10 innings. So he gave up it must have been some errors and walks if it's 4-2. Roll Tide Richard said he would like to attend the Iron Bowl on each campus. So to experience it from each side.
I've been in Jordan-Hare Stadium. I have been to, I have not been to a game in Bryant-Denny. I did go to the Iron Bowl at Legion Field in Birmingham. So I've never been to a game in Bryant-Denny. So
how would y'all feel about this one? This was an FS This Day in Sports. Would this be a bonus for you, or okay, this is too much? In 1984, the White Sox defeated the Brewers 7-6 in 25 innings.
Backstory. Brown family on vacation. Going to Minnesota. Dangerous Dick, my mom. I guess Susan was on the trip too. I don't know where Andy and Vicky were. Dad was working at Joe Brown's Pharmacy. We go into St. Louis. And I said, hey, Mom grew up born in Chicago, Cubs fan. I said, the Cardinals have a game tonight. And that's back when you knew everybody's schedule. You followed it. I had an NFL, a Major League Baseball Red Book, Green Book. And my brother said, no, they're not. They're in Los Angeles. We're passing the airport. And I said, well, then why are the Dodgers playing in St. Louis? You look over at the airport, you see Dodgers. My mom went across 4 lanes of traffic. We took Busch Stadium. We go in. I'll tell you who was playing. Lou Brock was playing for the Cardinals. We go up, and we're in the nosebleeds of the old Busch Stadium. 17 innings. And it was long but enjoyable. So 25 may be pushing it.
Yeah, 3 games for the price of 1.
Yeah. But got to see Lou Brock play. And so I would say, 25 would be pushing it. Extra innings, free baseball is fine, but 25 would be a little tough to stay the entire time.
And going back to the earlier thoughts about the tournament, FS says if you're under 500 in conference or in the bottom half of your league, you have no business competing for a national championship. And then the women's tournament needs to be reduced to 32 teams.
Okay, let's go back to the initial thing. Man, let's talk about you have 500 in SEC play. You're 500 in the ACC play. You're 500 in the Big Ten. Don't you realize a 500 team in the SEC, ACC, Big Ten, probably better than a majority of your other teams? I mean, I know Stephen Pearl, Auburn fans, NIT, not invited to the tournament. The 69th bid, whatever it may be. You don't think Auburn was better than some of the teams playing in the tournament? They're 500 in the SEC. Oklahoma, you don't think they're better? And here's the thing. Do you actually think that – now, I love it from the 70 – we haven't had, and where we live in North Louisiana, we haven't had an NCAA tournament team. Like, I would love to go watch and cover an NCAA tournament team, whether it's Louisiana Monroe, Grambling State, Louisiana Tech, whoever it may be, would love to go cover that. Do you think on these 8 extra bids, do you think they're designed for the MAC? You think they're designed for Conference USA, Sun Belt?
No, they're designed for Auburn.
Yeah, they're designed to keep the $1 million coaches from not getting fired. The multi-million-dollar coaches.
You know what? You're absolutely right. You can use it on your resume. Hey, we made the NCAA tournament.
Yeah.
But look at it. With over 300 teams playing Division I basketball, is that really that bad that 76 teams make it? Like, I like it. I'm going to tell you what I think. I have been a proponent of making a play-in North Louisiana because I'm selfish. Love seeing NCAA championship events. And I said you could have a first 4 in college baseball. But how about this? I want to expand the regionals by 16 teams. 16 teams, right? There's 16 sites where you send 4 teams, right? 64, field of 64. Would it be so bad to send a 5th team to every locale, every regional, and the 4 or 5 have a play-in game? So let's just say at the Tennessee regional, you have Tennessee as the number 1 seed in Knoxville. The number 2 seed is NC State. The 3 seed is South Florida. The 4 seed is, and you pick a Sun Belt Conference USA team. And then you have a 5th seed, and the 4 or 5 play to play the next one. You have 16 additional teams making a regional.
I mean, I think it's exciting as far as getting in, and there are a lot of teams. I just think you greatly reduce your chance of winning that. And not that you had a great chance anyway, because you're going to burn your pitching.
Okay, there you go. Thank you very much for bringing that up. I tossed you a softball. You hit it out of left field. That's why it's a mistake to limit the rosters to 34 people. You go back to a 40-man roster in college baseball, and you put 16 more teams. Here's the deal. It's about growing your product. There's a point where, if you're 300 teams participate in baseball as well. In fact, the University of West Florida is going to be the newest member of Division I. The Argonauts are going to be, now they're going to be on a 3-year probationary status where they can't make postseason play, but they're eligible for conference championship. Riddle me that, Batman. So they can win your automatic bid, but not win the automatic bid, so the runner-up would actually get it. But how bad would it be? 16 additional teams make the NCAA tournament, but you take back the field of 64, but go back to a 40-man roster.
I mean, I don't, as a fan looking, I don't have a problem with it. It's just you're going to add $200,000 to $250,000 to cover, because everything's a full scholarship now. It's cost of attendance, so you're adding up to $250,000. Even school like Vanderbilt or somewhere, you're adding, they call it $90,000, so that's $500,000 to a sport that I'm going to say, I think every sport in baseball loses money now. The only ones that might have been borderline before full scholarships was Mississippi State and LSU, but I bet every baseball program loses money. So that's the only thing.
Well, I will tell you, Okay,
And
now
seeing tennis cut, how excited are they going to be about adding more money to sports that don't make any money?
all right, let's go back because you're really unpacking a lot. Let's talk about that just for a minute. You know why you moved to 34? You went from being partial scholarships. They had 11.7 for years, and I argued for 18. They went from 11.7 to 34. Think about what that did. By going to 34 scholarships, and you don't have to give 34. You do not have to give the full 34. You're allowed to if you have the money. Basically, what this did, you eliminated, if you think about it, 6 spots from over 300 teams. There's like 1,800 guys there's not a spot for anymore. Who can afford to give 34 scholarships? Your Power 4 programs. What you did by making baseball 34 full scholarships, you basically just knocked out the Fresno States, the Coastal Carolinas. Now, they may be able to go for a couple of years, but in the long run, you basically now taking a sport where the last frontier for the little guy in college athletics had a shot. You've now taken that away, in my opinion. Because you look, you think Louisiana Tech, you think LSU, who has more money. Then you go to the state of Alabama, Auburn, Alabama, Troy, UAB, who has more money?
Well, yeah, the big guys.
And so by doing that, that's my opinion. Love your opinion as well at 888-993-7762. Greg Goff, head coach of Purdue Boilermakers baseball, going to join us this morning on the Nick Brown Show. But again, I ask you this question. You only going to one. Where are you going? Are you going to an Iron Bowl at Bryant-Denny Stadium at Jordan-Hare? Are you going to an NCAA regional? Are you going to Omaha? One sporting event you can attend. We'd love to hear from you. 888-993-7762. We'll be right back after this break.
Has your yard work and summer fun already put your back and neck in a bind? Bending, lifting, twisting puts additional tension and pressure on your back and neck. Once your muscles and nerves become inflamed, you start to feel the pain and stiffness, and no matter how many over-the-counter medications you take, it just won't go away. Well, it's time to call Dr. Bob Rendina at Chiro Network in Ruston. Chiropractic treatments work to get your back and neck working properly again. Play it smart. Stretch before and after. And when you need a chiropractor, call Dr. Bob Rendina at Chiro Network in Ruston.
Sexton Animal Health Center in Ruston serves your pet and you, providing high-quality pet health and wellness services to assist your pet in living a longer, happier, and healthier life, and providing you with access to leading-edge products, services, and educational content to enhance the bond with your pet. Sexton Animal Health Center is a full-service veterinary medical facility, providing the best possible medical, surgical, digital radiology, and dental care for their patients. And ask about pet daycare and boarding, too. Sexton Animal Health Center, 1628 East Kentucky in Ruston. Become a friend on Facebook to receive the latest news and updates.
For live play-by-play and on-demand tech broadcasts, download the La Tech Athletics app. Find also unique content on the Bulldogs and Lady Texers, including feature stories, schedules, press conferences, podcasts, and more with the La Tech Athletics mobile app. Download today from your app store, whether you're on the road or on campus. The La Tech Athletics app unlocks what you need to bark louder, remain loyal, and stay in the know on everything tech by searching for La Tech Athletics wherever you get your apps. It's always game day with the La Tech Athletics app.
When Brownie buys bourbon, it's at the Keg Package. Operating since 1972, the Keg Package has been serving the Ruston Grambling community for over 50 years. The Hightowers purchased the Keg in 2005 and built a new prime location in 2013 on the Tarbutton exit. They offer a wide variety of hard-to-find beer, wine, and liquor. They also have over 20 flavors of delicious frozen drinks. You can purchase Best Stop Boudin and sausage along with Louisiana Tech steaks. Come experience Divine Wine and the Keg Package.
Do you have 3 ex-wives and your current trophy wife wants a life insurance policy 3 times the size of the policies you had to purchase for your previous mistakes? If so, you need to call Big Lou at Term Provider, 800-529-2856. Big Lou is intimately familiar with your problems, and if you're 50 to 60 years old and in reasonably good health, a $1 million policy should only cost about $100 to $200 per month. Big Lou may have a solution for your previous policies as well. You may even save enough money to lighten the load on your new $1 million policy. Remember, call Big Lou. He's like you, except he's only on number 2. Call Term Provider at 800-529-2856. That's 800-529-2856 for $1 million in term life insurance that you can live with. Call Big Lou at 800-529-2856. 800-529-2856.
Sports Talk, Southern Style, on the Nick Brown Show.
Welcome back to the Nick Brown Show, the Nick Brown Show Network. Now time for our Bourbon of the Month. Our Bourbon of the Month for May, brought to you by Divine Wine and the Keg Package on the Tarbutton Road in Ruston. A good one. When you think of bourbon, you think of Kentucky. But here's one that is under the radar. In fact, it's interesting because a brother-in-law, I owed him a gift, so I actually gifted him a bottle of this. But this is Chattanooga whiskey, and obviously made in Chattanooga, Tennessee. So the flavor profile, had this last night. It's 91 proof, which is a nice, smooth finish. It's interesting how that it's made, but the aroma was one, it was like butterscotch. It was kind of sweet with caramel apple and a honeyed toast. You think about the toast you used to make. Wayne Blackwell used to feed all his football teams on Friday, toast with honey. So it reminded me of that. But on the palate, it's got a little vanilla bean, a malted shake. You remember when you used to go put malt in a milkshake, a malted shake creaminess? Very good. A dried apricot, sweet tea actually as a flavor profile. And then it's got a sweet finish with oak and honey notes. Now, very good profile, 91 proof. And here's what is interesting about this bourbon. It's a 4-grain bourbon, but unlike many bourbons that lead with vanilla and oak, they have the cereal forward. Now, what I mean by that is you're going to get some of the barley, the 4-grain flavor, and it is really good and a little bit of citrus finish, but a very good bourbon, and it is Chattanooga whiskey. Now, it's interesting. They do this, and it's the Solaire method of distilling. So what they do is they have several, they don't do the stacked pyramids that you see in all of your traditional Kentucky warehouses. So you have all the stacked barrels. What they do is they take those barrels, they age them, and then they move it into a big 4,000-gallon barrel where it ages for that. But good bourbon, Chattanooga whiskey, you won't be disappointed. 91 proof, give it a shot. Very smooth, free, little fruit, vanilla bean, smooth on the palate with a creaminess that you will enjoy. That is our Bourbon of the Month, Chattanooga whiskey, coming in at 91
You
proof.
know, and even if you're not a drinker, bourbon makes a great, you can mix it with things. Bourbon balls obviously are amazing. Chocolate, crushed cookies and stuff like that. And bourbon balls are really good, but it makes a great marinade. Both on chicken, you can use it on vegetables. I mean, so there's a lot of cool different ways that you can do it, and it brings a distinct flavor.
Well, the 4, it actually does. I'm glad you brought that up because I actually have a Smash Mouth burger. One thing that I've been experimenting with, I actually smoke burgers with a bourbon glaze and get a bark on a burger. So, and if you're not in a hurry, about 45 minutes to an hour, just smoke them around 225. Really good with a bourbon, hot sauce, and a little brown sugar. But the four grains are yellow corn, malted rye, caramel malted barley, and honey malted barley. So our Bourbon of the Month brought to you by Divine Wine and the Keg Package, Chattanooga whiskey out of Chattanooga, Tennessee, 91 proof.
Great city too, Chattanooga.
Absolutely.
Hey, speaking of bourbon, did you watch, we didn't even mention the Kentucky Derby. Did you watch the Derby? It was I didn't watch it, but when I saw the replay and they did the overhead shot of that horse's where he was and where he finished, that was amazing.
Absolutely, it was. But yeah, I saw it like you. I saw the replays, and shame on us for not mentioning the Kentucky Derby last week.
I mean, it is 3 minutes.
Jumping into Warren Nolan, RPI. UCLA atop from the Big Ten, 45-4 overall. Georgia Tech second. Auburn is third. Texas is fourth. Florida State fifth. North Carolina sixth. Alabama seventh. USC is eighth. Mississippi State ninth. And to the top. Now, to the top, we had a great conversation the other night, around 45 minutes worth. And Golden Eagle fans don't need to badmouth your team. You now moved up to 10th in the power ranking. So it's going to be interesting to see a regional at Pete Taylor Park in Hattiesburg, Mississippi. So the Golden Eagles doing well.
Is that where you pour your money if you're Southern Miss?
Absolutely, 100%.
I mean, it's a little bit for football. I think I'd put as much in baseball as I did football.
I think if you need to come in, and I think it's a very hot place to watch a game. I've seen a lot of games at Pete Taylor Park. You have an aging fan base and a lot of older, and I'm not being discriminatory on any sport, but older fans go to baseball more than they go to other events because they're during the day, not late at night like a lot of them. And I think you really, at Pete Taylor Park, they need to invest. They need to come in. Cover. They don't need to get rid of the roost. It's a great tradition in college baseball. Don't need to get rid of the roost out in the outfield where everybody just comes in and tailgates. But you have to do a covered type.
And that is my same deal about Omaha. Omaha, put a cover over the outfield. You've got plenty of money. You're the premier event in college baseball. Cover your outfield seats. There, that's all.
There. And Cheer Guy, you kind of, I went back and said that the possibility of having a play-in at a regional site. So let's just say at Plainsman Park or Pete Taylor Park, you take 16 additional teams, you add them to college baseball to the field of 64. So Preacher Man, your Tennessee math, 64 and 16. So you're now looking at bringing in
115.
80 teams. So 64 and 16. So you bring in 80 teams. But you have an interesting fact, which is what you do, Cheer Guy. And I said that it would explain.
Okay, so your argument was that it would increase viewership. It would increase everything else. Since 1999, there have been 9 number 4 seeds to win a regional. Missouri in 2006, Fresno State 2008, Stony Brook 2012, College of Charleston 2014, VCU in 15, Davidson 17, South Florida in 21, Oral Roberts 23, Evansville in 24. Now, there have been 416 regionals during those 27 years, okay, because we got to take out the COVID year. That gives you a 2.1% chance that a 4 seed is going to win the regional. So you're going to have to go even lower than that if you're going to bring in a 5 seed for every single regional. So the chance of them winning is, I hate to say it's a waste of their time, but you're talking about you got better luck going to the craps table.
I mean, you would almost in that 4 or 5 game have to go, okay, we're throwing our midweek pitchers, and hoping we win. Yeah.
I mean, because if you burn your best arm that day, especially you're talking, I guess you're saying that some of those you're just going to fill in the whole SEC essentially. We would essentially just open.
Missouri's not getting in. Yeah, so Missouri's out. So South Carolina's out.
For the most part, everyone's getting in. Well, any of your teams that are mid-majors that get one of those 5 seeds, if they throw their guy that day, I mean, they're going to be.
And then you got to turn around and face the number 1 seed.
How about that? How would you like? Let's just say that did come to fruition. How would you like to be Pete Taylor Park in Hattiesburg? And I'm just using that as my example today. You're a non-power 4. You finally get to you're hosting a regional, and LSU is your 5 seed.
Yeah, that's what like at that point your 4 seed that has kind of earned. Well, I guess maybe not.
Their automatic qualifier. Let's just say the ASUN automatic qualifier is sent to Hattiesburg. The Golden Eagles to the top are the 1 seed at 2-3. And then the 4 seed, well, you can't see off camera what he does. No Tabor cam this morning. He adamantly opposed the Tabor game.
Muscle memory.
So you're looking at the 5 seed. LSU throws their guy against the 4 seed, and then you have Southern Miss as a 1 seed facing LSU.
And then you just did Southern Miss a favor because you just had LSU throw their guy, and then now I don't.
You would almost. Have
I don't think LSU would throw their guy versus the ASUN champion.
You would almost have to play that round like a week before, and do some play-in game. Okay, this is the NCAA equivalent of the first 4, but you've almost got to have a week. We're going to play that Friday, Saturday, or Thursday, Friday, and then the tournament starts the next Thursday, Friday. But then you're extending the season a week. That's the only way I see you could do it and actually be fair to those teams.
Nothing in life is fair. We covered that. The fair's in October. It's in Dallas, and Fletcher's Corn Dogs
it's just
are the world's best.
Health, too. You only got so many arms, and your arms are less.
Go back to 40-man rosters. Number 1, the top 2 corn dogs in the United States. Fletcher's at the State Fair of Texas, and the one that you sent me to outside of Disneyland, the Little Red Cart. You're listening to the Nick Brown Show on the Nick Brown Show Network. We take a break, come back. Greg Goff.
Well, let's keep rolling about 5 more minutes.
Well, he said 9:05. It's 9 o'clock.
No, it's 8:57.
Okay. So best corn dogs, by the way, out in Texas and in Disneyland. But no, I come up with a great idea, and you guys are going to shoot it down. So go back to the 40-man roster. Then you have more arms. But I will tell you, if LSU were a 5 seed in a regional in a play-in, they would not throw their guy versus the ASUN champion. They wouldn't do it. So you
I don't know.
This year they may have to.
Yeah.
LSU, do they get in? And we'll look at all the conference together.
I think they throw Evans.
They're 57th right now.
Look, man,
9-16 in the league.
Last night was one of those games you got to get. They built the lead and couldn't hold it.
I think if they get swept this weekend, they're
out. Last night was kind of indicative of their season.
So what was the final?
11-8.
Yeah, I think that's what it ended up being. But they were what?
Yeah, they were up like.
They had a 4 or 5 run cushion.
Yeah, and then Georgia. It's same deal last night. Kentucky needed to
win.
I
mean, holding those bats down for 27 outs in that matchbox of a stadium. It's tough for anybody.
Yeah, Kentucky needed to beat Florida last night. I think they were up 7-1, 7-2.
Did they
got
pulled the same stunt?
Yeah.
Well, I will tell you, last night, one of the more interesting things, if you listen to this show, you know how I enjoy bunting with first and second, nobody out. I will tell you that last night.
2 minutes to make this an Auburn show.
Okay, real quick. Quint, turn your radio off. Last night, first and second, nobody out. Butch Thompson sends the guy up. He squares the bunt, fouls it off, squares the bunt, fouls it off, takes the ball in the dirt. What does he do? Fouls off the 3rd pitch. But I do admire Butch Thompson. The guy will sit up there to bunt and do a job, move him over. Now, Mississippi State held him scoreless in the 8th because of that.
I'll give you boys credit, though, man. 9th inning, that was pretty clutch.
That was. Well, we're going to take
if F
has that ball landed?
Is FS a I Tech guy?
I think FS is
Northwestern State.
Well, I just wonder because his comment was Pete Taylor Park has been uttered more in 1 hour on this show than any other station outside Southern Mississippi. And I know how Tech people feel about Southern Miss.
So. All right. Well, we are on in 4 states. You're listening to the Nick Brown Show, the Nick Brown Show Network. We'll be right back.
Here is the weather forecast on your Saturday. Mostly cloudy conditions with a stray shower or thunderstorm possible with a high of 82. As we move on into Saturday night, a few clouds in the area. There will be some areas of patchy fall with a low of 63. Sunday, which is Mother's Day, storms could be moving into our area. A mixture of clouds and sun with a slight chance of some of the loud stuff during the afternoon. Gusty winds and small hail is possible with a high of 82. And then for Sunday evening, scattered thunderstorms during the evening, then cloudy skies overnight with a low of 62.
Friends, this is Skip Russell, your #1 insurance agent in Ruston for the past 42 years. I want you to know that I would be proud to be your insurance agent. Come by and check out our new lower rates on automobile insurance. Call us at 255-5050 or come by our office at 105 Reynolds Drive in Ruston. That's behind Wendy's and Captain D's. Thank you.
I'm hashing over an ethical dilemma, so I think I could use some black coffee.
Of course, you can get black coffee and all your favorite coffee beverages at the Depot Coffee Shop. The Depot Coffee Shop is located at 211 West Railroad Avenue in downtown Ruston. The Depot Coffee Shop is coffee with a cause. The Depot Coffee Shop is open Monday through Thursday from 7 a.m. to 11 p.m. and on Friday from 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. and on Saturdays from 8 to 3. Call in your order at 232-7084 or visit the Depot Coffee Shop. You know what that sound means. It's time for the Pillowy Pluff Delicious Daylight Donut. Go visit them at 108 Monticello Avenue in Ruston, just north of I-20. They're open Monday, 5:30 to 10:30 a.m., Tuesday through Friday, 5:30 to 11:30 a.m., and on Saturday and Sunday from 6 to 12. Daylight Donuts of Ruston, proudly supporting the Nick Brown Show for the last 10 years. Ask for a wedding cake-filled donut. It's a Nick Brown Show favorite.
Hey guys, the gals aren't the only ones that care about their look. Let Adrian Russell or Dara Davis at LaBella Salon give you just the right hairstyle. Need a massage? Mamie Lee is their massage therapist and can work out those sore, tired muscles. Go ahead, schedule an appointment today. Call LaBella Salon 202-5848. LaBella Salon, 105 Reynolds Drive, next to Skip Russell State Farm in Ruston. What are you waiting for? Now's a great time to give them a call. LaBella Salon, 202-5848. Walk-ins welcome.
Want to know what's going on inside La Tech Athletics? Join us each week for Bleed Tech Blue Radio, Tuesdays at 6 on Sports Talk 97.7. Host Ben Carlisle, publisher of BleedTechBlue.com, talks with coaches and players and takes your calls and texts. He's up to date and you can be too. Bleed Tech Blue Radio, brought to you by Louisiana National Bank, the Uncommon Bank. Tuesdays at 6 on Sports Talk 97.7. The game. Now, back to the Nick Brown Show.
Welcome back to the Nick Brown Show, the Nick Brown Show Network. You hear that fight song. That means we're going to the state of Indiana. Greg Goff, head coach of the Purdue Boilermakers, joins us this morning on the Nick Brown Show. Good morning, Coach. How are you?
Good morning, Nick. Great to be with you. I'm doing great after last night's game. So all good today over here in Indiana.
Well, I will tell you that we had an arrangement that if your team won the game that you would come on the show. And I'm following the scoreboard, and I said, you got to be kidding me. Greg Goff does not want to come on the show, and so he's down 8-0. The things people do to avoid talking to me, and then you have like the biggest. Yeah, I had told Tabor, I said, you got to keep up with the Purdue score. I told him we're watching. He goes, well, no Greg this morning. And then, boy, your thoughts, man, that's like one of the biggest comebacks in like Purdue history. Now, what did you say during the 7th inning to really rally the troops? I mean, you're down 8.
I think he told him that I love you and you're all special. No matter what happens, you're all winners.
I don't have a dump button, so you got to keep it clean.
Yeah. No, the first thing I did say, I said, y'all having fun yet? And they didn't know how to answer it. You know, they were looking at it like, no. I'm like, yeah, exactly. Like, how we have fun? Win. I said, exactly. I said, so just win each week, you know, win each pitch, win each bat. Like, let's have some fun. Like, let's compete and battle. And, you know, we're at home and you know, stranger things have happened, man. You just got to keep believing and keep being tough. And lo and behold, man, those guys just found a way to rally and come back with a huge, maybe one of the biggest victories since I've been here at Purdue, especially against your rival. So it was great.
Well, I tell you what, your squad is now 32-15, and you're no stranger to the NCAA regionals. And we talk about it. You know, there's work left to do. But I think when you look at all the obstacles, the places you've been, obviously Campbell, NCAA regionals, Louisiana Tech, NCAA regionals. You look at Purdue, there are challenges. And really, I think your team is going to start to hit their stride because the weather that you have and all the travel that you have to do in the early part of the year does catch up with you, but that makes that 32 plateau win that much more special.
It does. You know, I think, you know, today's going to be 70 degrees and I think the weather's starting to warm up here, and our guys, we just got done with exams this past week, and that's always really tough, I think, for everybody in general when you go through that 5-day period where, you don't play, and the guys really have to finish, with a lot of things they probably should have did earlier in the year, but they always wait and get it done in the end. And so, I feel like we're going to start playing a little bit more downhill and get our legs back under us. And man, we just got to continue to take care of business, one game at a time.
All right, you look at it. Talking to Greg Goff, head coach of the Purdue Boilermakers. I want to give you a situation that I came up with, and everybody in the studio thinks it's the worst idea ever. So I'm going to ask you, and you're going to agree with them. But here's my situation. You look at all this NCAA basketball; it's expanding. I mean, Matt Painter doesn't have to worry about the tournament expanding. The Boilermakers are going to be there. But I think that maybe here's my idea: expand the college baseball tournament by 16 teams, and you send a 5th team to each regional site, and the 4 or 5 have a play-in game to get into the field of 64.
Oh my God!
You can tell me it's a bad idea. It doesn't matter.
That's a bad idea. I'm gonna join Big John. I'm gonna join the crew in the stadium. I think that's a bad idea. I do think we need to increase somewhat.
It's not his first.
Hey,
you better watch it. I told him, I said, Greg's going to call you Big John. You're going to tell him you've lost 35 pounds. He goes,
I know, he sounds fantastic. I tell you, it's so good to hear his voice, and I'm glad he's doing great.
Coach, what about a playing game the week before where your pitchers would have time to rest?
Well, that's the thing. Yeah, I think if they have time to rest and things like that, I think I'm okay with that one. But, jamming them all in there and stuff like that, I think that's, kind of crazy. If only Nick Brown would come up with something like that.
Okay, here was
he must be drinking white monsters this morning over there, because anybody that drinks white monsters, you got to be losing their mind.
All right, here's my second idea. You have Dayton, Ohio, where you have a play-in. Could you do a play-in? And all right, let's just say North Louisiana. You have ULM, you have Louisiana Tech, you have Grambling, all with college baseball stadiums. There's always going to be a regional within a 2 to 3 hour drive from here. The state of Texas, Texas A&M, Ole Miss, Mississippi State. Could you have like a play-in earlier, and so basically like Dayton is, have a city somewhere that is similar to what Dayton is to the NCAA basketball tournament?
Yeah, I think that'd be great. I think that would be awesome to have something like that. I think there'd be a lot of, interest and a lot of people would be excited. I think the biggest thing is just trying to get more teams in and get more, people acclimated to baseball, and especially from the Midwest and North. I think a lot of times there's some teams up here that don't get in just because of whether it's a scheduling situation or getting off to a bad start, early in the year. And a lot of times up here, it's just really hard to play teams that have good RPIs. And so you're just kind of stuck with, who's close to you. And so that's really a problem at times.
All right, let's look at it now where you stand in the Big Ten. Of course, UCLA 25-0. USC, you had an opportunity to go out there. I think that you guys played really tough, but that is a difficult trip going out to California from Indiana.
It is, I think, UCLA and USC have not lost a game in conference at home. So it's a huge advantage. And, we had a chance to win on Friday night, had the bases loaded, 1 out, and one of our best hitters at the plate. We just didn't score. But those guys are good. And you look at what UCLA is doing. I mean, they may be the best team in the country. Time will tell, but I mean, for those guys to be 25-0 in the Big Ten, I mean, baseball is a hard sport and it's hard to get up, and sometimes just the other team just has a guy on the mound that can beat you, and those guys have found a way to win. We played Oregon early in the year, and I thought Oregon was a top 15 team, and they beat them 11-1 last night, so they're pretty good.
Absolutely, it is. Talking to Greg Goff, head coach of the Purdue Boilermakers, where his team currently 16-9 in the Big Ten, big victory over Indiana last night. Let's look at conference tournament. You're going to qualify. You're going. Is it a good thing or a bad thing? You go to Omaha to play the conference tournament.
It's a good thing. It does. It's great for our conference. It's great for our kids. I mean, that is the pinnacle of college baseball, and they do it really well, Nick. I mean, I was so impressed when we've been out there. They treat you with first class. I mean, it is really, they basically kind of use our tournament to get ready for the College World Series. And so it is an unbelievable tournament, huge turnout. And, we're really, really grateful to have a venue like that wants the Big Ten and has a chance to play the conference tournament there.
All right, let's look at it now. What's left? You have two with, and let's talk about it. I mean, no one from Purdue is listening, so let's talk. Let's talk about this realistically. I know you look at it. I said sweep Indiana. You look at 7 games. You now have 6 games left. 2 with Indiana. 1 with who's it? Is it not
Ball
Murray?
State.
Ball State. That's right. The Fighting Dave Letterman. So you got Ball State and then Iowa. So 6 games left. If you win 4 of those and 2 in Omaha in the Big Ten tournament, that should be enough?
I think so. It's really, I mean, the great thing about what we've been fortunate to do is that we've won every series except 2 all year. And that's probably the first time I've done that in a long time. And so, you win every series. We're fortunate enough to go down and play in some tournaments early on and beat Oregon State, beat Baylor. Take your wonderful Southern Miss folks to the wire. They ended up walking us off. So, we got some good victories in there. But I think we got to continue to take care of business this weekend with Indiana, and then go to Iowa, and then have a good showing in the tournament. I do think.
Hey, Coach, one thing I noticed, there was almost 2,000 at the game last night. How have you, in your time there, seen interest in the program, excitement from the community and the fans develop?
Yeah, I think it's just been a great thing. We set the attendance record the last 3 years. I think we'll break it again this year. To be honest with you, and for me, and you guys know how I am. Like, we do a lot of community service. We love to get involved in the community. And so I think really those relationships and getting out and building those relationships and making those connections has really helped us bring the fan base out. And, it's been a blessing for us. It was a huge, home field advantage for us last night. And I think it's a sellout today as well. So, it's a big deal. And, if the season ever got pushed back just a few weeks, I think it would make a huge difference, especially in the Big Ten.
What's the big hang up on that? I mean, it doesn't seem like, you're playing Omaha when school's out anyway. What's the big deal in pushing back a couple of weeks? Does it have to do with the draft or anything? Or
no, I think a lot has to do with the Southeastern Conference having, dominating Omaha. And I'll be honest with you, if they push it back, it definitely equalizes the playing field tremendously. How about having an LSU or somebody coming to, West Lafayette or, it would be a huge deal to be able to do that. But, they have such a monopoly on, the college baseball at this time. I just don't think they, want to free up any of that, to be honest with you.
A February game in Knoxville and Lexington's not the greatest thing in the world either.
It's not,
so you would think like some of them would want to push back too.
They do. I was in the SEC for 5 years. There's nobody there in February. Nobody really starts cranking it up till the SEC, season begins anyway. And so it would be a huge benefit for everybody. But, it's hard to change when something's been done for a long time. But I do believe that there's enough, especially now that we have, the California teams in our league, them guys coming up here playing in the snow in February and March. So I definitely think there's a trend, and a lot more people are willing to listen now. And I think it would be huge for just the sport itself.
All right, final question for you. Think about how far your career has come, now head coach of the Big Ten, but it all started back in the state of Alabama at Montevallo.
Oh, my God, I can't believe it's my 33rd year. I've been so blessed. And, this journey that I've been on with my wife and kids, it's just been amazing. And, coming through Ruston and staying there for a couple of years and the friends that we have there, and just makes my day to talk with you guys, to be honest with you. But we've been so blessed and fortunate. I feel great, Nick. I think I look better than you. I definitely think I can outlift you in the weight room. So, hopefully we can keep doing it a few more years, and good Lord willing, we'll have a chance to, keep doing this for a while.
Well, it's probably due to the fact that you're on human growth hormones and you go over and
You're crazy. Do not believe that. If anybody's listening, that is not true. That is not true. And I'm not sipping in Monsters this morning either. I drank some orange juice for my health. And I am on cherry juice now. I have given in. I still don't go to the doctor, but I do take cherry juice, which definitely helps me throw BP every day.
You're throwing BP?
Every day.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
How many people go yard on the Greg Goff BP?
They like to hit BP up. You know, it was always a problem when I played, but now that I coach, it's a good thing.
I hope you have a nice L screen. You've invested in a good L screen that you're behind.
Oh, I definitely have a good L screen. I did get hit the other day. My foot got outside, and the players really loved seeing old Coach Goff go down for the count. I got a big bruise on my foot where a dude nailed me, but yeah, we try to stay in touch and keep working.
So 33 years in college baseball, and the highlight is getting to meet Big John Tabor.
Big John Tabor. Only thing I'm waiting for is Big John to invite me to the next WWE event so we can both go and watch in the front row. That's what I'm waiting on.
Well, Coach A, I appreciate you taking time out of your busy schedule. Good luck versus Indiana today and the rest of the season.
All right, guys. Thanks so much for having me. Boiler up.
All right. Greg Goff, head coach of the Purdue Boilermakers, joined us on the Nick Brown Show. And you look at, really, you think about it, you ask a very pertinent question. You go back, like, baseball has been an afterthought at Purdue. Now you go look at what he's been able to do. Really, around the first year was 500 with the COVID year. In 2021, 16 and 26, but he's progressively gotten better each year, 29 and 21. 33 and 24 2 years ago. Last year, 31 and 23. Right now, 33 and 15. Certainly think he's going to eclipse it. Be nice to see if he gets to the 40-win plateau.
Yeah. I mean, this is, I think, what he's done at a program that far north and that cold of weather and, getting the crowd support, getting people excited. I do think that's a realistic thing. And I don't just think for Big Ten schools. I think for, a lot of SEC schools,
Kentucky,
a lot of Big 12 schools, Virginia, schools like that. I mean, pushing the season back. People even here at Louisiana Tech, if that weather is 40, 45 degrees, they're not excited about sitting out at a ball game. So I don't see how it hurts anybody pushing the season back a couple of weeks.
All right, we're going to jump into the schedule of the Southeastern Conference, give you the breakdown. Cheer Guy will give you the Sun Belt schedule. Preacher Man giving Conference USA. We'll look through that, but we're going to take a break to listen to the Nick Brown Show, the Nick Brown Show Network. We'll be right back.
Has your yard work and summer fun already put your back and neck in a bind? Bending, lifting, twisting puts additional tension and pressure on your back and neck. Once your muscles and nerves become inflamed, you start to feel the pain and stiffness, and no matter how many over-the-counter medications you take, it just won't go away. Well, it's time to call Dr. Bob Rendina at Chiro Network in Ruston. Chiropractic treatments work to get your back and neck working properly again. Play it smart. Stretch before and after. And when you need a chiropractor, call Dr. Bob Rendina at Chiro Network in Ruston.
This is Brandon Kraft, General Manager at Homes Plus.
Homes Plus.
This tax season, we have got with our factories to offer our customers guaranteed build times. So don't just spend your tax return, invest it into the next place you will call home. And everyone be on the lookout for the all-new tiny home coming soon.
Get the plus. Homes Plus.
So come see us on Highway 165 North in Monroe or visit us at homesplus.com.
ProVision Security. Preserving your past, protecting your future. Cameras, doorbell cameras, systems you can control all from your smartphone. Security systems with low monthly monitoring starting at $14.99. ProVision Security is more than security. Sound systems, hanging your flat screen TV, speakers in your ceiling, even Wi-Fi systems. ProVision Security, 314 East Georgia in Ruston. Call Michael at 773-3703. Check him out on Facebook. ProVision Security.
Don't let concerns about current events derail your long-term financial strategy. Hi, I'm Edward Jones, financial advisor Jeremy Hebert, and I'm here to help. We can work together to understand today's financial landscape and make sure you achieve your goals. While you can't control market volatility, you can control your financial future. Let's connect. Start by giving me a call at 318-251-9200.
Member SIPC.
When Brownie buys bourbon, it's at the Keg Package. Operating since 1972, the Keg Package has been serving the Ruston Grambling community for over 50 years. The Hightowers purchased the Keg in 2005 and built a new prime location in 2013 on the Tarbutton exit. They offer a wide variety of hard-to-find beer, wine, and liquor. They also have over 20 flavors of delicious frozen drinks. You can purchase Best Stop Boudin and sausage along with Louisiana Tech steaks. Come experience Divine Wine and the Keg Package.
Okay, so clearly the word is out about Country Pleasin' sausage. Thank you for helping make Country Pleasin' your go-to sausage on game day. From original to jalapeno and cheese, black pepper cheddar, even crawfish and pork, we can't get enough at Sports Talk 97.7, and it seems like you can't either. Check for Country Pleasin' at your local retailer, and for additional flavors, check them out at countrypleasin.com. That's countrypleasin.com.
Saturday morning, sports, and the Nick Brown Show. You can't beat it.
Welcome back to the Nick Brown Show, the Nick Brown Show Network. Fight song for the Golden Eagles of Southern Mississippi. We're going to jump into the schedules from the SEC again, running down the SEC standings. Incredible. You look through the top. Georgia came back last night with that victory over LSU. And a lot of work for LSU yet to do, but you'll have that opportunity because every team is making it to Hoover. And so now you just got to win when you get to Hoover. But Georgia is number one in the league, 19-6 overall. A&M, the Aggies of Texas A&M, holding on at 15-9, tied with Texas. Auburn in the 4th spot, Mississippi State right behind them, and a great series in Starkville, by the way. Mississippi State won the first one. Auburn won last night, so it'll be interesting to see.
You should just drive over there. Get you some cabbage balls.
It would be great. It was a good trip when we went to Starkville. But that is a good series. Alabama. I mean, you look now, the state of Alabama, the state of Texas, state of Mississippi. Ole Miss, 13-12 right now. In ninth place. 10th is Oklahoma, 12-13. And really, you're looking for the at-large. Played in the SEC, 13 wins. Tennessee is 12-13. Oklahoma is 12-13. I think when the dust settles, you will have everybody with the exception of probably South Carolina and Missouri. You look at Vanderbilt work to do, LSU work to do, Kentucky work to do. But I think you could go at least 11 teams making it to the field of 64.
Yeah, I think Vanderbilt's game was suspended last night, 7-7. It's kind of crazy with like 1 or 2 outs in the ninth. You know, like, why don't you finish that? Maybe they just had terrible weather.
It could be, but what was it, fog?
I think it was fog.
Was it fog?
Fog, yes. Yeah, foggy out there. So we'll look at the schedule for today in the SEC, and then Colin Cheer Guy will bring you Sun Belt, and Preacher Man will bring you Conference USA. Huge victory, Louisiana Tech last night over Liberty. But today, Alabama going to take on South Carolina at Founders Park in Columbia, South Carolina. Alabama, 19th in the country, 14-11 in the league. And South Carolina, again, have not filled that job yet. Your interim is not going to be the guy. Would you leave Coastal Carolina to come coach the Gamecocks? Kevin Schnall, you look probably going to double your salary minimum. Or do you stay at Coastal, where you were the, by the way, first All-American in school history at Coastal Carolina as a catcher? I would. It's the SEC. You're the big fish. Flip a coin. I might stay at Coastal.
That's a tough one. I mean, obviously, you know, in the SEC, if you finish 13th, you're probably making the NCAA tournament. But you're the top dog at Coastal. You're in Coastal. I mean, that is, you know, now that's at least a 3-bid league. I guess if things went well, they might even could stretch another one. I don't know. I just feel like you're the biggest sport on campus. I think I'd stay at Coastal. But I know money can talk.
Cheer Guy?
Yeah, I'm not leaving. To me, that you finish 13th, you're making the tournament. You finish 14th, you're looking for a new job.
Yeah,
so
yeah, that's true.
I think that there's no way that, and especially with how they're doing and in the Sun Belt, I mean, you can almost count on them being in the tournament every year. I just can't see a reason that and I know money talks, but I'm sure that you keep winning there, that Coastal Carolina will start finding some money.
And you do wonder a little bit about Carolina and NIL because you got a small state and you got another huge university there, Clemson. So advertising dollars get, split out, and then for whatever reason they've got a crazy amount of money tied into women's basketball that isn't going anywhere, and that can't help you.
You look at it, Conway, South Carolina. 25,000 people.
So that's Ruston.
I think you stay. Now, I will ask this one question. I know the answer already. John, you're the head coach at Coastal Carolina. The Gamecocks call you to Columbia, the SEC. What are you doing?
I'm probably going to Columbia.
Yeah. I knew the answer to that. All right, rest of the SEC today. At Texas A&M and Ole Miss is going to be at Oxford University Stadium at Swayze Field. 9th-ranked Aggies versus 20th-ranked Rebels. A good series. That was going to be at 2 o'clock Central Standard Time. Also, Oklahoma will be at Baum-Walker Stadium in Fayetteville, Arkansas. Oklahoma 24th in the country. Arkansas 17th, 2 o'clock first pitch. Boy, two teams. Kentucky with work to do there in Gainesville, Florida, 14-11. Kentucky 11-14. Work to do, 3 o'clock first pitch. Over in Dudy Noble Field. I think you look at it. Now, you've been to a regional Dudy Noble. Absolutely the best experience in college baseball over Alex Box. Maybe Alex Box at a regional, but on each game, you look at it, there's none better than Dudy Noble. Auburn taking on Mississippi State. That first pitch is at 3 o'clock. Winner takes the series. Vanderbilt at Missouri. They've got a little work to do at Taylor Stadium in Columbia, Missouri to finish last night's game and then today's game. And then a big one for your Vols, 12-13. The Longhorns in town, Lindsey Nelson Stadium, 5 o'clock first pitch.
Well, we got one last night, so they seem to play better with their backs against the wall. So I could see them winning the series this weekend. Then they'll get beat like 11-1.
Doubleheader in Oxford, by the way. Texas A&M at Ole Miss. That second one going to start around 6 o'clock. And LSU and Georgia. If you're LSU, 9-16 in the league, now's the time to start winning. You would move up a good bit, but you still have the SEC tournament. I want to tell you, when the dust settles, this reminds me of the Rice Owls, going back to the late Wayne Graham. I think when the field of 64 is announced, I think LSU is going to do enough between now and then, and will be a dangerous team in the field of 64.
I think they need to win one this weekend to get them to 10. And then they probably need to win 2 next weekend. I'm not sure who they're playing, but win 2 next weekend and then get one, at least one, if they can get to that. If it was anybody else, maybe not, but being the defending national champs, I think if they could get to 13 wins within the conference, then I think they'd have a good shot.
All right, we're going to jump into Sunbelt action with your guy. What's going on in the Sunbelt Conference today?
All right, so in the Sun Belt, just kind of looking at the standings first. Coastal Carolina in the lead, 20-5 in conference, and then Southern Miss kind of went into conference a little slow, but they're 10 of their last 12, and now they're at 17-8 in second place, followed by South Alabama, App State, and then ULL directly below that. That's kind of the race for the top, along with Troy and Marshall. So Southern Miss turning into a Southern Miss show today. Really loving on the Golden Eagles.
You brought that up, not me. So Quint usually turns his radio station down. We talk about Auburn. So now FS is turning his down. We talk about the Golden Eagles. By the way, you asked who LSU had. The Florida Gators come to Baton Rouge, and that's going to be a Thursday night contest, 6:30 first pitch when that series begins.
All right. Well, are you going through the
Yeah, we can talk through the schedule for today real quick. Old Dominion will be at Coastal Carolina, Georgia State at Georgia Southern, both of those first pitch at 1 o'clock. ULL at App State at 2. ULM at Marshall at 3. South Alabama will be in Troy, Alabama. And then Southern Miss at James Madison, and Texas State at Arkansas State. Arkansas State, another one of those teams that's kind of been off and on hot throughout the season as well.
Well, you look at it, former Louisiana Tech assistant Silva is at Arkansas State, Christian Ostrander, former Tech assistant at Hattiesburg. So now, and actually you go back, of course, Greg Goff at Purdue, McCarty, hey, do me a favor while he gives us the Conference USA breakdown. Tell me how Abilene Christian baseball is doing. I'm just curious for that. So therefore, we're the only sports show in the country talking about Abilene Christian. But now with the Conference USA schedule for today.
Jackson stayed in front by a couple of games. They are 20-5. Liberty at 18-7. Missouri State and Louisiana Tech both at 16-9, along with Dallas Baptist. Western Kentucky and Kennesaw at 12-13, and everybody else below that line. The schedule for today is New Mexico State is at Missouri State. Delaware is at Sam Houston. Middle is at FIU. Of course, Tech is at Liberty. Big win last night for Louisiana Tech, 9-3 over Liberty. And then Dallas Baptist is at Western Kentucky.
And you look at it with Louisiana Tech 71st in your RPI. There's just not enough season left. You're going to have to go in and win the conference tournament. Now, I do think you're capable of that logjam between Dallas Baptist, Louisiana Tech, and Missouri State. It's interesting because Louisiana Tech holds head-to-head over Missouri State because you're really fighting for that seed, and then Dallas Baptist holds I want you to check out and see what Missouri State did when they played DBU, because it might be going to be interesting. You're going to have to go and see how they did against Liberty. And what I'm saying is what makes it more important, if you're a Louisiana Tech fan, you really need to win this series, because if all three of you are tied, you're jockeying for the best seed. You want that overall number 3 seed. You'd love to make it to the number 2 seed. If Louisiana Tech were able to sweep the series, that would put them in second place outright. But right now, tied with Missouri State and Dallas Baptist, I know that Louisiana Tech holds head-to-head over Missouri State. Dallas Baptist holds it over Louisiana Tech. So it comes down to what Missouri State did against DBU.
And then looking at, you asked about Abilene Christian, 24-25 overall.
Okay, and they're in what league is they in? They're led by former Louisiana Tech assistant McCarty.
They're in the WAC.
The
old school WAC.
Old school WAC. So there you go. And take our, you ready for a 9:30 break? You want to keep it rolling? We're ready to take our 9:30 break. You listen to the Nick Brown Show on the Nick Brown Show Network. We'll be right back after this break.
Here's the weather forecast on your Saturday. Mostly cloudy conditions with a stray shower or thunderstorm possible with a high of 82. As we move on into Saturday night, a few clouds in the area. There will be some areas of patchy fog with a low of 63. Sunday, which is Mother's Day, storms couldn't be moving into our area. A mixture of clouds and sun with a slight chance of some of the loud stuff during the afternoon. Gusty winds and small hail is possible with a high of 82. And then for Sunday evening, scattered thunderstorms during the evening, then cloudy skies overnight with a low of 62.
Friends, this is Skip Russell, your #1 insurance agent in Ruston for the past 42 years. I want you to know that I would be proud to be your insurance agent. Come by and check out our new lower rates on automobile insurance. Call us at 255-5050 or come by our office at 105 Reynolds Drive in Ruston. That's behind Wendy's and Captain D's. Thank you.
I'm hashing over an ethical dilemma, so I think I could use some black coffee.
Of course, you can get black coffee and all your favorite coffee beverages at the Depot Coffee Shop. The Depot Coffee Shop is located at 211 West Railroad Avenue in downtown Ruston. The Depot Coffee Shop is coffee with a cause. The Depot Coffee Shop is open Monday through Thursday from 7 a.m. to 11 p.m. and on Friday from 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. and on Saturdays from 8 to 3. Call in your order at 232-7084 or visit the Depot Coffee Shop.
Nick Brown for All Hours Fitness Ruston. In Ruston, life doesn't stop at 5 o'clock, neither should your goals. Welcome to All Hours Fitness Ruston, your 24/7 destination for strength, health, and a better you. We've just grown. Enjoy over 15,000 square feet of premium equipment, outdoor training, and live classes. With our exclusive ladies-only area, cryotherapy, red light therapy, massage bed, and tanning, we've taken away every excuse. Locally owned, built for life. Join the family at All Hours Fitness Ruston today.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-9871. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS.
Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start.
Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems.
We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau.
You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-9871. That's 800-575-9871. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Thanks for tuning in to the Nick Brown Show. On the air, online, and free app.
Welcome back to the Nick Brown Show. Just now joining us, a great conversation today about the NCAA men's basketball tournament expanding to 76 teams, which led me to come up with the question, maybe it's time to expand college baseball, which the cheer guy and preacher man both said absolutely not, with my idea of a fifth team going to play in at the regional site. But they do like the original idea that I had about 2 to 3 years ago about having a play-in at maybe North Louisiana. Make Ruston and North Louisiana the Dayton of college baseball, which I think would be a wonderful idea.
And looking at that, DBU took 2 out of 3 from Missouri State.
So then that would be, if they were all tied, DBU would have the number 3 seed because they took over. So that would be, having won the series over Tech and Missouri State, winning 2 out of the 3. But it should be interesting to see because you go through Jacksonville State, they're going to get an at-large bid if they don't qualify. Liberty, depending on how well this series goes with Louisiana Tech, if they're able to go to Lynchburg and actually sweep, I think that's going to take Liberty. The danger of that is you're going to end up taking Liberty out of the at-large consideration, and there's not enough work for Louisiana Tech to do, so the best thing they could do is win to improve their seeding.
Missouri State's still got a pretty good I think they're projected in the tournament right now.
So that would be – there you go. So that would be good. 2 into hopefully 3, and Louisiana Tech could win the conference tournament. Now, checking in, had a text roll in, says that don't like expanding the NCAA men's basketball tournament. There's too many teams in it already. I do disagree with that. It's interesting, though. A lot of people are on the same page, and this is not going to happen. A lot of people want, simply because of the discrepancy in talent in the women's game. Boy, the most common thing when you ask about did you favor expansion of the men and women's college tournament, most of the replies have been to decrease the teams that get into the women's college tournament.
You know, and I just think you look because it just seems like the number 1 seeds, number 2 seeds, you don't see a lot of upsets happen. But on the other hand, I know for those teams getting in the tournament, how exciting it would be for them. I mean, that's where you see the pure joy, is when you see those small conference teams get into the tournament. So, and I know we had a text earlier about, well, that just waters it down and gives everybody the trophy. I don't think it waters it down because the best teams end up coming through and winning. You know, I think you water it down when you make it possible for a lesser team, like what Louisiana does with the BC championships. You know, to me, that can be a water down, you know. But I think, you know, you've still got to go through the whole field to win it. So I don't think that changes. It makes it any easier.
27, college football season. Syracuse and Wake Forest are going to open up the college football season in Toronto.
That's exciting.
Marking the first time 2 American universities will open the year in Canada. And it's going to be on week 0, August 28th or August 29th, and will serve as the ACC opener for both teams. Now, not that it matters. Wake Forest will be the home team. I don't like taking games away from campuses.
No, I don't either. I don't even like the games in South when they go to Atlanta and stuff like that and do the kickoff.
Well, John Cohen, now you're going to get more money looking at Auburn. I think about all the businesses, and Quit not an Auburn show, so this can apply to any city out there. And it could apply to Winston-Salem, where Wake Forest is. John Cohen, the athletic director for Auburn, has moved the opening game with Baylor from Jordan-Hare Stadium to Atlanta.
Yeah, I don't like that.
See, I don't like that. I think that's you think about all the businesses that support your school, and that's one of the games they're counting on.
Yeah.
They employ students. All of the restaurants, they're the ones you go to.
You know,
and
it's one
not a
weekend where
fan.
the hotels can't double their rates. So, no, I don't feel sorry for the hotels, but yeah, definitely the restaurants and, you know, businesses like that depend on that. I was glad Tennessee's going to play Georgia Tech, and I was glad that game's going to be on Georgia Tech's home field.
Speaking of that, it's because of the you saw the first casualty of the 9-game league schedule. Florida State and Georgia had to cancel their agreed matchup for 27 and 28. So I think you'll see more and more of this.
Oh, absolutely. I know Tennessee has a home and home with Washington, and a lot of people were excited about going up to Seattle and all, but I guarantee it's in 29 and 30. I guarantee you that will get canceled. It absolutely will get canceled. Once you went to the 9-game conference schedule, now if they go to the I do think expanding the field too far is 24 teams, which is what the Big Ten wants. You could probably play those games because you're 8-4 and you're getting in. 16 teams might come near keeping some of those games in, but I know the problem with those two was they think they already play Florida and Georgia. You know, Georgia plays Georgia Tech, Florida State plays Florida, so we're adding a second Power 5 non-conference game.
Well, I think you go back and look, though, with the way the playoff committee is favored some, I don't think you have any advantage. At one time, you thought this was going to be the way to go and move to the future, and I was all for that. But now, I don't think there's going to be any benefit. So if you have the opportunity, you're playing 9 games in the SEC, then I think that's a point where you're out of conference, should be one that you can absolutely cupcake.
It's going to be 3 cupcakes.
Should be UT Martin, maybe, in Middle Tennessee.
Yeah.
If you're Tennessee, UT Martin, Middle Tennessee State.
Well, yeah, you play one of your
FCS,
one FCS, and then you play like Middle and Western Kentucky.
Absolutely. We're going to take our final break, come back, and wrap up another edition of the Nick Brown Show on the Nick Brown Show Network. We'll be right back.
Yard work and summer fun already put your back and neck in a bind. Bending, lifting, twisting puts additional tension and pressure on your back and neck. Once your muscles and nerves become inflamed, you start to feel the pain and stiffness, and no matter how many over-the-counter medications you take, it just won't go away. Well, it's time to call Dr. Bob Rendina at Chiro Network in Ruston. Chiropractic treatments work to get your back and neck working properly again. Play it smart. Stretch before and after. And when you need a chiropractor, call Dr. Bob Rendina at Chiro Network in Ruston.
Sexton Animal Health Center in Ruston serves your pet and you, providing high-quality pet health and wellness services to assist your pet in living a longer, happier, and healthier life, and providing you with access to leading-edge products, services, and educational content to enhance the bond with your pet. Sexton Animal Health Center is a full-service veterinary medical facility, providing the best possible medical, surgical, digital radiology, and dental care for their patients. And ask about pet daycare and boarding, too. Sexton Animal Health Center, 1628 East Kentucky in Ruston. Become a friend on Facebook to receive the latest news and updates.
Friends, this is Skip Russell, your #1 insurance agent in Ruston for the past 42 years. I want you to know that I would be proud to be your insurance agent. Come by and check out our new lower rates on automobile insurance. Call us at 255-5050 or come by our office at 105 Reynolds Drive in Ruston. That's behind Wendy's and Captain D's. Thank you.
I'm hashing over an ethical dilemma, so I think I could use some black coffee.
Of course, you can get black coffee and all your favorite coffee beverages at the Depot Coffee Shop. The Depot Coffee Shop is located at 211 West Railroad Avenue in downtown Ruston. The Depot Coffee Shop is coffee with a cause. The Depot Coffee Shop is open Monday through Thursday from 7 a.m. to 11 p.m. and on Friday from 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. and on Saturdays from 8 to 3. Call in your order at 232-7084 or visit the Depot Coffee Shop. You know what that sound means. It's time for the Pillowy Pluff Delicious Daylight Donut. Go visit them at 108 Monticello Avenue in Ruston, just north of I-20. They're open Monday, 5:30 to 10:30 a.m., Tuesday through Friday, 5:30 to 11:30 a.m., and on Saturday and Sunday from 6 to 12. Daylight Donuts of Ruston, proudly supporting the Nick Brown Show for the last 10 years. Ask for a wedding cake-filled donut. It's a Nick Brown Show favorite.
Hey guys, the gals aren't the only ones that care about their look. Let Adrian Russell or Dara Davis at LaBella Salon give you just the right hairstyle. Need a massage? Mamie Lee is their massage therapist and can work out those sore, tired muscles. Go ahead, schedule an appointment today. Call LaBella Salon 202-5848. LaBella Salon, 105 Reynolds Drive, next to Skip Russell State Farm in Ruston. What are you waiting for? Now's a great time to give them a call. LaBella Salon, 202-5848. Walk-ins welcome.
Sports Talk, Southern Style, on the Nick Brown Show.
Welcome back to the Nick Brown Show, the Nick Brown Show Network.
Some odds and ends. Did you see where the Brewers pitcher, 10 pitches last night over 103 miles an hour, set the record at 103.6 or 103.7, but 10 pitches over 103 miles an hour. That was one. I saw another odd and end.
Jacob Misarowski, by the way.
Misarowski having a great year, phenomenal year. And then another record, a UCLA softball player, 37th home run last night. She did that about 20 or 25 games quicker than the next player had done it. So as a team, I think they've got almost 200. Them and Oklahoma are both right at 200 home runs. So some a little bit of pop there from the bats.
Actually, it's funny. You go back to Misarowski, by the way. He actually is from Blue Springs, Missouri, and I think it's interesting because of the time frame. When he came through, you had the COVID year, so his senior season was canceled. And so, obviously, you look at it drafting, so he's going to play college baseball after missing his senior year, so he committed to Oklahoma State, but instead enrolled at Crowder College, where he played for a couple of games as a freshman, then he redshirted after a knee injury. Guess where he was going to go next? LSU. Yeah. And but he made 15 starts at Crowder, and he got National Junior College All-American, and he was determined to play baseball at LSU, but when the Brewers come in and select you 63rd overall, he signed for an overslot signing bonus of $2.35 million, which now, you look now, Misarowski would have been in Baton Rouge making well over what the Brewers were going to give him that $2 million. So, almost pitched for LSU.
Yeah, that's amazing to think about. I don't know about y'all. This time of year, I got a few more weeks. I'm excited. But once the College World Series is over, I almost hit a little bit of a sports depression till football kicks off. I can't get excited about Major League Baseball till playoff game. It's just too long of a season. Wimbledon, blah, I don't know. What about y'all? Are you guys excited?
Yeah,
Do you get excited? What excites you about summer sports?
You got the World Cup. I'm excited
the World
about
Cup
that.
this year. That'll be cool.
Did you see the prices?
Oh,
$1,000
it's
a
stupid.
ticket.
And
That is crazy.
The original question that you kind of led off the show with, Nick, we were talking about which sporting event would you want to go to. I'm not a huge soccer fan, but I think a World Cup final or like a Premier League game, something like that, just for the fan base alone, I think that may be what I would pick just to be in that atmosphere.
Isn't that what you said, Tabor?
Yeah.
People can talk about football fans all they want, but football fans
on
a whole other level.
I do appreciate a good hooligan.
Since you do watch a little, who would be the two of the most raucous fan bases in the Premier League?
In the Premier League?
Because if I go, I want to see. It'd be like if I had never seen a college football game, I'd want to go to Baton Rouge.
Well, things have changed in the generation. They really clamped down on the hooligans over there. Historically, maybe like Chelsea or
What's the biggest rival?
Probably historically, Man U and Liverpool.
Okay. Yeah, I think that'd be fun. Let's just get up.
But
Let's
then
go.
you have your crosstown. They call them the Derby, crosstown rivals. Man U, Man City. Your London teams, Liverpool and Everton. But as far as take away that crosstown aspect and just purely on success of the squads over the years, probably Liverpool and Man U.
Yeah, let's get our jersey and our long
And then,
dark
and then I
overcoats
think
and go.
being played today, El Clasico, which is Barcelona and Real Madrid.
And then another odd and end thing question I've got for you guys. Vanderbilt, Missouri last night. Suspended top of the ninth, 2 outs, runners on second and third. It got suspended after a review on the field, called a home run. Outfielder for Missouri throws his hands up. They go back and review it. It's ruled a ground rule double, but TrackMan data says it was a home run. Should TrackMan data be able to be used in a review?
Oh, wow.
Because you can't see it in the fog. And that's what a lot of the Vanderbilt fans are up in arms, that you can't see it in the fog. But TrackMan data says it should have been a home run. Should you be able to use TrackMan?
If they're not using TrackMan data for official rulings already, you can't just all of a sudden start. I don't think.
No, I think he's asking the question, like, should that be part of the season
Go,
moving
well,
forward
maybe,
next year?
maybe going forward or next year, sure.
Yeah,
I know not everybody
but
has
in the
it,
moment,
but in the SEC, I mean, they've all got TrackMan.
Well, they're going to the ABS in the tournament in Hoover this year.
Yeah, I saw that they approved.
Really?
The
They
NCAA gave them approval this week.
That's just the SEC.
Yeah, I think if they've got the technology where that foul pole is to be able to tell, was that fair, was that fair? Being Vanderbilt, I'm glad they don't. And I'm glad Vanderbilt got messed over. But
was it a home run?
You can't tell.
Yeah, you
once
can't see a
once that
thing.
ball apexes into the fog, you lose it, and you can't tell.
And also, I think based on the TrackMan data, the outfielder that throws his hands up is like 30 feet. Like he's nowhere near where.
So
it
he
went
can't
over.
see it ever, but just
No.
high
And-
baseball
and-
IQ, though.
And
I don't know.
if he thought in that moment, made the decision, I'm going to sell it, basically. Tip of the hat for being that sharp upstairs to think of that. Hey, it's foggy. Maybe I can sell that the ball went off the turf and this is a ground rule double instead of over the fence. Naturally, I don't think anybody in that moment in live action would have the wherewithal to just think of, hey, let me do that.
And was he a Missouri player? Because they had just come back to go ahead. Was he throwing his hands up and go, I can't believe it.
See,
This
I
season
thought he was
stinks."
throwing it up like, man, I don't know where it is. Like it's gone.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, but it would make sense going forward
I
to
think
use TrackMan.
you got to finish playing it out. They probably made logistically it's a pain. You think, man, you're just playing possibly 1 out and half of an inning more to go. You want to get it played, but you see the video, you can't see anything.
And being a
beyond
Tennessee fan, I
infield.
hope Missouri comes back and wins.
By the way, Alabama and Oklahoma State games for football have been canceled in 28 and 29.
Oh,
So there's
shocker.
another casualty of that one. So sure, Alabama will replace them with the Citadel, maybe keep them the ninth game.
No, who's Oak State going to replace them with? Tulsa?
Probably so.
Probably.
Yeah. That's going to wrap it up for us here on the Nick Brown Show. We appreciate you listening to the show today. Thanks for Greg Goff coming on with us. Also, I'd like for you to go to YouTube. Subscribe to the Nick Brown Show YouTube channel. For John Tabor, for the Preacher Man, for Cheer Guy, the Pillowy Pluff Delicious Daylight Donuts, and the Community Coffee were great today.
The three of y'all ate that entire dozen, didn't you?
That's the way we roll today. We will be at
Notice
all
it
hours.
was just 3 people eating them.
We will be.
It's part of our NIL.
Yeah. We will be at All Hours Fitness Workout when you want to. 24-hour gym, but appreciate it. Guys, until next week, thanks to Steve back in Jackson, Alabama. And